I don't know, somewhere here. I brought my best friend in, Steve Mariucci, and you can see why I like football better than basketball. It's, we go to Wisconsin and we can't make a shot and they can't miss one. And we come here and we can't miss a shot and they can't make one. And then Wisconsin goes to Ohio State and they can't make a three. And my sport is harder than yours. It's harder to coach. I just want you to know that now that I've told you. But I thought it happened when I needed to happen. I thought my seniors, Coop and Jackson, were really good early. I thought Jordan and Jeremy were really good early. I thought Cohen, and that's kind of what we got to be. My four guys got to be good. And they were really good. We did a lot of really good things, mostly defensively. I felt for Mick, his team's a lot better than that. And I guess he upgraded that to a flagrant 2, huh? That's the first time I saw a coach do it, but that sounds like Mick, so he'll get that straightened out. And but maybe on the negative side, to get through it first, is the 14 turnovers, and really 7 of them are bigs. But we had a lot of guys. Denham got hurt his shoulder a little bit. That's why he didn't play, and that was a little hard because I had to play Jeremy more minutes, but I think he's going to be fine. And, we got a little bit more. Cam Ward did a few things. Kurtang hit a couple of threes, and that really helped us. So all in all, it was a big win, 21 assists on 29 baskets. The ball was really moving the first half. I thought we got a little selfish second half and went inside, and it was like a black hole. It never came out, and that wasn't good. But in general, that was maybe as good as we played on both ends of the court, offense and defense. So questions, I'll take them.
Tom, you defend, rebound, and run has been the motto all year. How did you see that?
All 30 years.
That too. How did you see it translate onto the court tonight?
Well, when you defend properly, you don't give people a lot of penetration. When you don't get a lot of penetration, you have a lot of better chance to rebound the ball because your bigs aren't out of position. And if you can get that, we can get it out in Jeremy's hands. He can get that break going. And Jordan got to pull up 3. Cohen had a couple of dunks. It was the way we have to play. Everybody's got a style. Some people are just shooting threes. Some people are walking the ball up, and ours is to defend, rebound, and run. And it's worked most years. But when we don't defend as well, then we don't rebound as well, and then we don't run as well. So it kind of goes hand in hand.
Tom, when you look at the three-point shooting, obviously Jordan goes 3 at 3, but teams have been challenging both Jeremy and Cohen to shoot from outside. What does a performance like this do for both their confidence and then also for opposing defenses that might want to cheat back?
I thought Jeremy might have played one of his best games, and the reason is he seemed so under control. He didn't take bad shots. He made good shots. I'm still waiting for him to take over a game when they switched defenses. We had some lineups in there that were different. He's just got to run our team a little bit. That's the only thing I'm asking of him more, and I am asking that of him. But he's made great progress. He really has. And I'm happy for Cohen because it's tough when you don't make shots. But he didn't get to the line, but he did get 16 points. Only 3 rebounds, but he shot it with a high percentage, and it looked good. Even the misses looked good. So I think that'll help both guys, But it's one game. Let's not get carried away. We got to have that on a regular basis.
How much does that help to both Jackson and Coop inside to have that defense stretched out? So?
That's the one thing we talked about to Jackson last night after our meeting. He gets so wound up. I told him if he has RPMs like a car, they'd be at 1 billion. And sometimes he just gets himself going. And if he would just relax in there and realize, yes, they're going to double you. You've earned the right for people to double you. But when they double you and you get it out and you move the ball around, then other guys get wide open shots. And sooner or later, they're going to have to quit doubling you. So, I think he learned something too tonight, and that he got it out good, had some great cross-court passes. We moved the ball. Jeremy made a couple of great plays getting it out. So, hey, we played better, but that wasn't the UCLA team that I watched on film. They're a lot better than that. And so did we make them a little better? I bet you Greg Gard said Michigan State's a lot better than they were tonight. Did we make them that way, or was it one of those nights? It was probably always a combination. Tonight I think it was a combination. And that's the hard thing, boy, when you're a team from out there and you come here. It's like us going, boy, those 5-day deals they're tough. They're tough. And I think it hit them a little harder today. The guy that I think is really going to help him is Sky Clark. He's a really, really good player, and he's been out for over a month. This was only his second game back, and when he comes back, now their schedule gets a little more friendly. They've got more home games. I think they'll still be a pain in the butt because he's a good coach and they're a good team.
Tom, you talked about the defense obviously was as a key tonight. I think 8-minute stretch in the first half, they went scoreless, and then like 6 minutes, I think, in the second half at one point. Because what does that say for you guys in the commitment to hold them? I think 3 off a season low that they just had.
Yeah, and they hit 2 threes, I think, because we had 4 turnovers in the last 4 minutes. So, that was the best we could play. They do have enough shooters. They have as many shooters as some of these other teams that have lit us up lately, Minnesota and Wisconsin. So I told my team it's just about a choice that you want to make, and it's about an attitude, and it just shows the difference. And you look at our game, the Wisconsin game, Wisconsin down at Ohio State. These swings are enormous, and I don't know why, but I got to try to keep ours, which I think we had done a pretty good job of until that one stretch. But everybody's going to have a stretch. Now we got a big game on Sunday, and then it'll be against a team that's playing awfully well right now.
Tom, I want to say it was 5 games straight that you guys had trailed at halftime, but that 18-0 run sort of controlled things for you guys. How important was it to see your guys make those choices and sort of command like that when they haven't done that the past few games?
Yeah, they hit the first shot of the game, a tough shot, then the kid banked one in, and then you kind of sit there on the bench and say, oh boy, But it is important we get off to a good start, but I'd much rather get off to a good finish. And, and that's what I kept telling my guys. We just got to keep working through it. But some of those starts in those 2 games were really poor, and we can't do that. So hopefully this will be a good teaching thing. Tomorrow, probably have a day off, but maybe we can look at a little film and see what we did right and hopefully get a little better. That's the name of the game now in this stretch run. You got to win games, but you got to get better each game.
Tom, as you said, you had different lineups out there. What did you see out of Jordan Scott as his time as a point guard?
I'm not ready to give him that position yet, but I did like it that we said we're going to live with that a little bit. It's good for him to handle the ball. It's good. Jordan Scott has been phenomenal. He really has. He does it defensively. He does it offensively, and he's getting better. And the thing is, he's so unentitled. So he's one of my favorite human beings because there's no entitlement in Jordan Scott. And because of that, I think he's going to get better and better and better.
Coach, you've talked all season about that veteran leadership with the 4 key guys of Fears, Carr, Kohler, and Cooper. And for today's example, 53 points and 21 boards combined between the 4 of them. And then when you add, going off Jordan, when you add Jordan Scott to that, who seems to be more confident each game, what does that do for you guys offensively and also for those 4 players? Because Jordan seems to be all over the place getting those stats that don't show up on the stat sheet.
Yeah, he's an energy bunny. He really is. He has a sense of purpose and a sense of urgency that is far beyond his years. And that really helps too, But, we're going to go as far as our big 4 take us. Jordan will help. Cam's going to help. Kerr's starting to come around a little bit. But it's those 4 that have been through the wars and those 4 that have, they've only got as I told Coop and Jackson, you only got 2 home games left. And that's the funny part about sports. You kind of, everybody waits to get done, and then when you're almost done, you say, where in the hell did it go, And so, yeah, we're going to keep riding them. That's who you got to ride, because they're the ones with experience. They're the ones that have done a good job for us over the years, and right now they're getting better, and that's what's really important to me, because we weren't getting better there for a while.
Also wanted to ask you a bit about Coop. Since he missed those free throws at the end of the Nebraska game, he's shooting 83% at the line. Talk about more of his development at this specific spot, and how important is it for your big man, your 5, to be able to knock down the free throws at such a high rate lately?
Yeah, Coop's been phenomenal from the line, and even more so lately, and that is important. The saddest part is Jackson might be as good a free throw shooter as I got on my team. He just doesn't get there. And that's another one of the negatives, We've got some things we got to get better at, and that's one of them. We got to get Jackson fouled. But a lot of times when people are doubling them all the time, but we're going to get better. If we hit shots, they aren't going to be able to double them, because we're going to get the ball out, get it moving, and we'll do a better job of that. But, yeah, I'm proud of Coop. He was an average free throw shooter his first 2 years. He got pretty good last year. He's been phenomenal this year. And the missed free throw at Nebraska, I don't think nothing of. He missed one. I made him miss the second one. So that's no big deal.
Coach, there were a couple broken plays that went late into the possession, but there was a couple quick decisions that were made that were able to get a few baskets. Did you see anything, especially in the decision-making? There was one where Coop was trapped in the corner, and he was able to get a basket with 2 seconds left.
Yeah, I think he hit Cohen cutting, and Cohen hit Cam for a dunk on that one, I think. We think the guy that really could take 2 more steps is Cohen, because he's so not only athletic, but he's smart. He's in phenomenal shape, and he can slash, and he can do things like that sometimes he just hasn't been doing. So, making some shots, he's worked on it so hard this year. And, God, I was happy for him, But we did have some guys that made some good plays getting the ball. Now, we had some times we put the ball in the post, and we wanted to let it hatch. It was like a black hole. It never came out. And then they just swarmed us and turned us over, and that's why we had so many turnovers. So we did some really good things. We did some bonehead things, and we'll have to work on the bonehead and increase the good ones.
Coach, you guys were facing a UCLA squad who was shooting 40% from 3 in the last 5 games, which is the top mark in the conference, and you held them to 32% tonight. Can you just talk about either the changes or what was most effective in your 3-point defense?
Well, that was threatening. I'll be honest with you, we threatened our guys on that. I mean, we were one of the leaders in the country, and then all of a sudden we went on a 3-game stretch where we couldn't guard anybody, So we put a lot into that the last 3 days, and to their credit, I think we did a pretty good job, because I didn't think they had a ton of open threes, but I'd have to look at the film to figure it out. But they looked tired to me. UCLA did, in the first half, and I think sometimes these trips that are NBA people are used to, college people aren't used to them, and I don't know if that's true or not. I'll talk to Mick about it, but I just felt like maybe if your legs go, then your shot goes. But I thought give us credit, we defended it a lot better than we did the last 3 games.
Yeah, Coach, over here, I just want to ask about the growing confidence in Kurt Tang. He started off 0-2 today. He made his last 3 from beyond the arc, including one when he was moving. That seems like something he wouldn't have been doing at the beginning of the season. I want to ask about what that does for the team, the growing confidence in his shot.
I brought in Kerr and Denham and those 5 guys, and I said, Kerr and Cam, we need them to step up 3 steps. The other guys, we need to survive. And I think Kerr's making some, he works on it morning, noon, and night. And we get Cam going a little bit more each day, as he could really help us, because he just gives us a dimension that we don't have with those bigs. He gives us an athlete that can cover a lot of people. So we'll keep working on it, but, we weren't as bad as those couple of games, we might not be as good as hitting 14 threes and holding them to 30% or 32%. But as long as we keep progressing, this will give us something to study some film on, talk to our players about, and hopefully get better, And it was, at the end, I will say this. I thought our fans and the student section did a great job. Sometimes when a player comes back, they're real jerks, and I tried to put it out there that I didn't want that. And really, our people did a phenomenal job of that. And he deserved it. Because like I said, there's a lot of people that leave places, and it's a mess. His wasn't. It was done the right way. His parents came in, unlike this poaching and tampering that we got. That thing was solid as a rock, and I appreciated that about him and about his mom and dad and the way Mick handled it. So give them credit. Give our fans credit. Somebody said that, well, they were calling for him at the end, and I thought it was not good, but some people told me after that they were doing that in a good way. I don't know if that's true or false, but I hope it was, because kid's a hell of a kid, and he deserved the best. His parents were here, and they were great. All right, thanks.